everyone, this is Carl from Fiskal, and today we're going to be chatting about additional units of measure in Cin7 Core and a couple of use cases where we can use this very powerful feature. Our first use case is where we want to make conversions between kilograms and pounds, liters and gallons, and other different units of measure. A specific example here could be that you receive your goods from your supplier in kilograms, but want to work with them within Cin7 Core in pounds. So let's look at how we fix that problem. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create two SKUs. This method requires dual SKUs that are almost duplicates of each other. So we'll go into our new products in our inventory page. So let's just say we want to call the SKU coffee beans kilograms. We want to put the kilograms actually at the end of the SKU to help us identify this. We can give it a name, we can give it a category of raw material, and we could use a unit of measure of kilograms. Great. Everything else for the most part here does not need to be edited right now. We can always edit this later. The first we want to do is save the product. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to clone this product. And we're going to make a coffee beans pounds product. We'll change this word here to pounds, and we'll change our unit of measure to either LBS or pounds. Great, we will save this as well. We are now ready to set up our additional units of measure. So the additional units of measure needs to be set up on the unit we actually want to use. So let's take, for example, our coffee beans. Additional units of measure. We click the plus icon and we click select an existing product. Coffee beans, kilograms. Units of measure kilograms, and now what we are telling Cin7 is that one coffee beans kilogram SKU is equal to this many amounts of pounds. Now obviously that is not true. The conversion is roughly 2.20462, which we can leave for there. So now Cin7 Core, we can click save. Cin7 Core will now understand that if we go back to additional units of measure, one coffee bean kilogram SKU is equal to 2.20462 pound SKUs. This is vital to make sure that we can get these conversions correct. What's very interesting as well is on the other side of this, if we go to our inventory and we go to our products, and let's find our coffee bean SKU. If we go to our coffee bean SKU, you'll notice that the coffee bean SKU has been set up now with an automatic bill of materials set to auto assemble and auto disassemble into the amount that we have given. Now this is really important because we're going to run a use case right now of us ordering in kilograms from a supplier. So let's go to our purchase. Let's go to simple purchase. Right, let's go and let's order from a supplier. Let's scroll down. And that supplier, we were going to order coffee beans. Now, importantly, remember we are ordering in kilograms. Let's order 200 of them at $1 each. Authorize. Approve. Go through to our invoice. Invoice. Random number. Move my head here. I'm in the way. Great. We're going to copy from invoice. We can authorize. Lovely. Okay. At this point, I want to take a quick look before we receive our stock. We're going to navigate to inventory and we're going to go to availability. In our availability screen, if we type in coffee, as you can see here, the only item that is showing on order is the coffee beans kilograms. Don't be alarmed. This is because Cin7 is still expecting this. As soon as this amount is received into our warehouse, this will change. So let's go back to our order. Stock received, copy from invoice, authorize. Great, let's go back to our availability screen. And if I click refresh, exactly what we wanted to see. As you can see here, our coffee beans has been moved out of on order. It does not show up on hand and does not show up with a stock value. However, our coffee beans in pounds will show up with the stock value of $200, and it will correctly do the conversion of kilograms to our coffee beans. You can also use this to work out unit price in our coffee bean pounds metric that we want to use. And that is how we use units of measure to do simple pound to kilogram conversions. Our next example is if we order from a supplier in a different unit of measure than we would like to use inside Cin7. A good example of this could be our supplier expects POs in cases, while we want to deal with eaches. This is very easy to set up using our additional units of measure in Cin7. So let's navigate to inventory and click on new product, service, or asset. So keeping with our coffee theme, let's use mugs. Let's say we have a single SKU, mug 001. And let's just say this is a blue coffee mug. Right. We can make a new category for this if one doesn't exist already, and our unit of measure would be item. Great. We can now save. We can also clone here, and we can call this case mug 001, blue coffee mug case. We can keep our category as mugs, and we can change our unit of measure to case. We can now also click save. Now, we need to go back to our, just like we did with the pounds and the kilos, we need to go back to the SKU we want to use within Cin7. So let's navigate back to our inventory, back to our products, and let's look for the mugs. Mug 001. Inside mug 001, let's set up additional units of measure. Click the plus icon and click select an existing product. Blue coffee mug case. Great. Let's say we have 100 mugs per case. We can now click save. Fantastic. Let's do the same thing we just did before. Let's go navigate to purchase, navigate to a new simple purchase. Let's select our supplier. Let's go and find our case SKU for our mugs. And let's buy 5 of them at $10 per case. Let's approve. Straight through to the invoice. Let's put an invoice number. Let me move my head. Invoice date for today. We can copy from our order. We can authorize. Let's also go have a look again. If we navigate up at the top to inventory and we navigate to availability, we can type in here, mug. And you'll notice that we have those 5 cases on order, just like the kilograms. We can navigate back to our purchase. In our purchase, let's go to stock received. Let's receive that stock in the main warehouse. Authorize. Let's go back to product availability. Let's click refresh. And we should be, there we go, perfect. So as you can see here, 0 in the stock value, 0 on hand, 0 on order. And as you can see, our correct amount of mugs on hand, maintaining their stock value. And that is some of the ways we use the additional units of measure feature in Cin7 Core. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.